Boris Johnson was handed a significant boost after Canada vowed to smooth the path towards a post-Brexit trade deal. Canadian Prime Minister Justin Trudeau insisted his negotiations with London would not be bogged down in the same complexities as the EU-UK talks. He told a virtual news conference he was very optimistic a rollover agreement, based on the EU's trade pact with Ottawa, could be concluded with Britain in the coming weeks. It has been previously claimed Canada would refuse to extend its trade deal with the EU to the UK if there was no Brexit agreement. But Mr. Trudeau claimed work was already underway to ensure an agreement is in place before the end of the year. He said, "Canada is extremely pleased to be the only G7 country that has a free trade deal with every other G7 country, and we would certainly like to keep that." There have been many discussions over the past years between myself and Prime Minister Johnson and his predecessor on that seamless transition on a rollover of the CETA between Canada and the European Union to be the basis for a Canada-UK free trade that would allow certainty for Canadian and British companies going into the future. I think you've heard that there are significant complexities that the UK is grappling with in terms of negotiating the post-Brexit agreement with the European Union. I can highlight that it's fairly straightforward with Canada, and we are certainly very optimistic in the ability to see things roll over smoothly. The UK is engaged in many different negotiations right now, but Canada is certainly there to ensure this certainty that can be given to British companies, at least with Canada, as other things are worked out in a more complex way. The UK-Canada Free Trade Agreement will eliminate tariffs and quotas on most products. Mr. Trudeau made his intervention after holding an EU-Canada video conference with Presidents Ursula von der Leyen and Charles Michel. His announcement comes just a week after Trade Secretary Liz Truss secured the UK's first major post-Brexit trade deal with Japan. And it comes as Lord Frost, the Prime Minister's Brexit envoy, travelled to Brussels for further wrangling over an EU-UK trade deal. The two sides have been locked in intensive talks since Mr. Johnson last week reopened the negotiations after Michel Barnier's promise to finally put pen to paper on a Brexit deal after months of stalling. European Commission President Mrs. von der Leyen said the sides were making good progress but are still to overcome the main sticking points of future common standards and access to Britain's fishing waters. She said, "We are in a critical phase now, and it's boiling down indeed to the two topics that are the most important. It is the level playing field on one side and the fisheries on the other side, but I want to remind that there are 11 other fields of files that have to be negotiated till the very end. We're making good progress, but two critical issues, level playing field, and the fisheries, there we would like to see more progress." The German hinted the two sides were closing in on an agreement of how to police the future deal. And European Council Chief Charles Michel said he hoped for some positive developments in the coming days.